Hey y'all, I'm Raina Harper, and welcome to EveRe-Watch, where I podcast a spell that takes a hold of you, for the show where I reminisce and recap the Nickelodeon fantasy series Every Which Way. We cover each episode of the show here, and I go into detail on everything relating to what happens with the show, what I remember from keeping up with it in 2014 and 15, and all the fun knowledge and commentary I can bring in with it. And this week I'm excited to give a warm welcome to my excellent friend, Emily Esten, who might be trapped in here with me during a serious storm. Ooh, they'll, yeah, and definitely isn't on the other side of the country. Definitely not. So, yeah, welcome, Emily. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. And I did, just before we got started, get a warning that I'm about to get thunderstorms, so it's perfect
Oh
timing.
dear. Oh my God. Oh, that yeah, an omen of something. Of what? I don't know.
Yes.
Um, yeah, may I bet it's caused by a witch, honestly. Um,
I mean, it must be. There's no other possibility.
Absolutely. So Emily, I met you last year through through being such a film fan that we were both traveled across the Atlantic to attend the Cannes Film Festival. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
we traveled both there and back the same flight and saw a bunch of great movies together at the Cannes Film Festival. Um, and eh, including Nat later Palme d'Or winner and now Oscar winning Best Picture Honora. Come full circle there.
Oh, nice, nice. Actually, I was thinking about it because last week I saw The Shrouds and I was reminded of the only thing I really remembered was your brief
Yeah.
comment about it being a Tesla ad.
Oh yes. Oh, was I wrong?
No, you're not. As soon as the Tesla appeared in the film, somebody in my screening started booing, and we all laughed, and it was a good feeling.
Yeah. Oh God. It takes on a different implication now compared to 11 months ago, I'll say.
Yes.
Um, Not that it had a great implication even then, but yeah. Um, so so, let for those I'm sorry, this is not what the podcast is about, but for those who are unaware, uh, the protagonist literally uses the self-driving feature, like he deliberately like pulls it out to like get out of situations. It's anyway, that's yeah, go see The Shrouds if you want to see a very ridiculous Cronenberg film. Um, and so yeah, and oh, we also saw I'm pretty sure weren't you at the same Emilia Perez screening that I was?
I
Um,
think so, yes. Which
yeah.
also was fun to
Um,
have that experience way before the internet did.
oh, absolutely. And to hear the the sex change operation song and
Yes.
everything. Uh, so yeah. Uh, that this is we maybe we should just go into a tangent about all the Cannes movies we watched last year and instead of talking about every which way. So so Emily, when because of you you and I having so much fun last year, I thought it would be fun to bring you on to this podcast that I've since started and like going over a show that that has a lot of like nostalgia for me, like as in like I like even like this is one of like the shows I like know most encyclopedically, essentially. A very prominent cultural moment in my upbringing, and so thought it would be fun to bring you on for this, and so you were pretty receptive to it, and so I wanna know what were your impressions of what it would be like, what were your feelings going into it, and did you end up enjoying what you saw? What were your biggest takeaways?
Yeah, so I was excited. I mean, I knew of the podcast. I also love
Mhm.
TV recap podcasts in general. I listen to a
Awesome.
lot of them, even for shows that I don't watch, just because the
Mhm.
commentary and like learning a show through other people talking about it is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I had not heard of the show before, and I was sort of
Mhm.
surprised that I hadn't. And then I was sort of doing the math, and I was a sophomore slash junior in college at the time. So I was like, this probably
Oh yeah,
wasn't on my radar. And I wasn't as familiar with Nickelodeon shows as I was with Disney Channel. So I really
sure.
had no idea what to expect. I read like really quick summary of the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And going into the episodes, I found it pretty easy to follow or like figure out all of the relationships until the end of the second episode, episode 16. And I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, there's a lot of backstory happening in the last 2 minutes of things that seem really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. There's a lot of the the this the episodes that we watched today like really use the device of the storm as like a way of like, oh, we're gonna slow down with these characters and have a bunch of we're gonna have a bunch of intimate moments where we learn a lot about each other and things, John Hughes style, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and it's it, it I mean certain aspects of it work better than others. But and 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 well and so we'll see the different perspectives that we have, like one of us knowing the under like the previous context and one of them knowing very little. So that yeah, well, so it'll be fun. I certainly think. Um so, but before the storm escapades, we have to deal with a bunch of parrot escapades. Um
Yes. I was thinking a lot about this of like they kept saying parrot and then I was like, is a cockatoo a parrot? Or like I was just really impressed with the parrot actor and throughout this.
oh yeah. The uh yeah, hmm. The did this parrot go to acting school?
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, everybody on set seemed to be really well trained to handle the parrot as well. Like there, no one
Yeah,
seemed too stressed out of like getting a parrot on their arm or being around one, which I really appreciated
yeah,
as well.
yeah. Except for one character who is well, yeah, I get what you mean though. Um, I bet there honestly there was probably like some animal wrangler person who like came to set and like brought everyone into huddles like and like spent a few hours like going over the protocol for dealing with a bird, you know.
Right, right.
Um, yeah. So 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 it'll be fun to get into this. So hold on, getting it. Okay. Anyway, sorry. That was just yeah. So leading in so the episodes that we watched today are called uh Emma Wants a Cracker and Stormageddon. So yeah, the the you know in my last episode I had a friend on whose name is Daniel. So having a namesake of one of the characters for the first time, and Emily and Emma are close enough, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
for for sure. Um, yeah, I'm surprised that Emma is like never like short for Emily. It's those are two separate names entirely. Um,
Yeah, I would be curious when those names sort of diverge. But yes, Emily and Emma's are very distinct, but they're also very popular names. Like I probably know as many
hmm,
Emmas as I do Emily's.
yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, like like in high school, like there would be like I would sometimes come across like two people named Emily having a conversation, then I would like humorously point it out, and then yeah, we would laugh about it. Yeah. Um. So Emma rushes to her locker and is and Daniel's younger siblings have set up a prank to like rig up some squirt guns to spray orange soda in her face when she opens it. Um. They're very sneaky. They are. Um. And and uh, tell me if you think differently. If I had magic powers and was faced with this sudden surprise situation, um, my I don't think I would just want to make the squirt guns turn into birds and fly away in the middle
I
of a
don't think
school hallway?
that would be my first reaction either. So the episode literally starts with her
Yeah.
getting squirted with the spray guns, and I
Hmm.
could not figure out what had happened. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
this character I just met is a bird, and I was
Yeah.
really like, that is a strong, bold move. But I guess, high school nerves, frustration, you go
Hmm.
for it.
Yeah. The like the way the show is like set up and edited, like the episode just starts with like no recap or like logos or anything. It's just like, oh, we're here now. Oh, spray guns. Ah, bird. What is it? And and it's always funny, like because like basically all the guests who come on who are like coming into this show for the first time, like in the middle of a season, are like, what's happening now? What? Uh, and as yeah, it's pretty funny. But so she casts a spell to turn the spray guns into birds so that they'll fly away. The and it, but she's so flustered that the spell hits the mirror and then reflects back on her. So now she becomes a parrot slash cockatoo on the ground. Um, and, and then Daniel rushes in and is like, "Whoa, Em!" Oh, he like skids in like, "Whoa!" That's it.
Very like,
Um,
Nickelodeon style antics slide in.
yeah, yeah, just like, "Whoa," uh, and um, and then he's like, he immediately picks up like on what's going on. Oh, Emma, you turned yourself into a bird, huh? Well, well, come with me now. Get on my hand. Oh, oh no, the bird flew away. Emma, come back. Runs after it, and
Daniel has a pretty chill reaction for someone who, I mean, I don't know the previous antics, but to be like, oh, great, my ex-girlfriend's a bird and I gotta go find her. I think
yeah,
that would take me a little bit more to process.
absolutely. It's just like a bit of the well, I mean, so like he knew for a few months that she was a witch, but recently, after very soon after finding that out, her powers to his mind got taken away. So he spent a few months, but like as Emma spells out later, just a few days later, she got her powers back, but then didn't tell Daniel, like kept that a secret. It's very convoluted, this show. Um, and the, and so he recently found out that she was lying to him and broke up with her because of that. But has sort of started like feeling like maybe perhaps I treated her too harshly, and and so he's like receptive to helping her now. So that's the context, as much as the context as I can sum up quickly. I hope I did okay. Um,
Yeah, I think so. I did look up to see what had happened in the previous episode and saw it was titled The Breakup, so I said, "Oh, this is quite new."
yeah, and and like, but in the same episode called The Breakup, uh, uh, Jax and Daniel literally have a epic choreographed sword fight with a baguette and a stick of salami. I'm not making this up. Um, uh, and it's quite clear that they're like fighting for Emma's affections. So so Daniel's like, wait, I haven't given up on her yet. Still like her somewhat, I guess. Um, and yeah, they definitely don't spell that out in a conversation later. So yeah. Um, so Daniel runs after the Emma, the cockatoo, flying away, and then Jax comes across the bird, and we find out here that like, oh, he has a serious phobia of birds. He can't handle seeing a bird indoors, as he later says. Um, it's just, ah, but,
Yeah, I didn't pick up on the phobia in this moment. Like that seems like a
mhm,
pretty natural reaction to finding a cockatoo in your school, but I thought the
mhm.
way the phobia plays out throughout the episode was pretty good.
Yeah, like yeah, he like the actor did a convincing enough job with it, I thought. Um, uh, and yeah, 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 of course, I'd be, pretty a bit freaked out too, seeing a bird flying around my school.
Well,
Um,
and I
but yeah,
think Daniel says like Emma, so he thinks that Emma's going to be there, and instead sees a bird, and that would be confusing.
yeah. Uh, well, maybe it's a separate bird named Emma. I don't know. That's it from his perspective. Um, so so yeah, that's what we're left on as the opening, as we then cut to the opening sequence, like the I can't call it credits because they're not credits. They don't say the actors' names. They just say the characters' names for some reason.
Yes, which I found odd but really helpful for me of figuring out who is who, what are all the names. There are these two groups, the Sharks and the Panthers. Great, got it. We can move
Yeah,
on.
yeah. There's the Panthers that are the clique, and definitely not ripping off the plastics at all. Um,
Right.
uh, and then there's the swim team called the Sharks, of which Emma's best friend Andy is a part, along with Jax and Daniel and Diego. Um, and so, Diego's not a panther; he's a shark. So, that was jumping ahead a bit, but that was a pretty funny line right there. Um,
Yeah.
it's so so then we cut to Maddie trying to deal with her face changing different colors all of a sudden, and they come up with the most sensible solution, which is cover it with foundation. Um, and
Yeah,
it works like
that seems
perfectly.
great.
Why didn't they just stick with that? Like they like Maddie seems to abandon that, and like later, like when she's at home, she seems to have taken the foundation from the half of her face that had it on off. So it's like, why'd you do that? So
Right. You would think
uh
it would just, I mean, maybe the maintenance of the foundation becomes too much, but it
yeah,
shouldn't.
yeah. Also, she congrats to her for finding the exact right foundation for her skin tone. Like that's a pretty difficult thing to do. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Maddie was probably my favorite character in these two episodes, and everything
oh
she
yeah,
does seems very like cool, calculated, move forward, seems to be on top of things, and her foundation is one of them.
yeah. She's a good I'll say she's come around for me a lot. Like she's becoming more fun and lighthearted, as opposed to like throughout season one she was just entirely like one mode, which was just like awful and manipulative and bossy. Um but but I this season has like peeled back some layers to show that, like, oh, a lot most of that is like a deliberate front that she's now feeling comfortable, like uh not putting up as much anymore, um because of uh because of her spending time with Diego, uh who's causing her to mellow out, I suppose. um yeah, that's a great trope right there, being like uh being like fixed, but because a guy made her better. I don't know, but
Yeah, also like the I don't know, the sort of Disney Channel reference of like the Sharpay Evans and then Zeke, the soft boy sort of matchup trope.
yeah, yeah, that definitely, as like, oh, you he showed her that you can be nice actually.
Right.
Wow.
Common human
And
decency to other people.
and then more people will like you and you'll have a better time. What? Is it- It's it's yeah. So, but Maddie especially doesn't want Diego seeing her changing color face, because we figure out pretty quick it's like a mood ring sort of thing. It's like, oh, when she's angry, her face turns bright red, and when she's in pain, it's purple, and when she is sad, it's blue.
The blue
Aw,
was pretty great.
yeah. She she doesn't want Diego seeing it, and it's like, and 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 so Sophie says, yeah, it's yeah, uh no, your face def okay, he's like, your face definitely isn't red, and then Sophie's like, more of a ripe berry shade. Uh,
I liked that joke, yeah.
um so Sophie always coming in clutch with the great comments.
Yeah, I enjoyed her.
Yeah, she's honestly more funny than Karen and Mean Girls a lot of the time. Um,
Yeah, I think
I
it's
think
it's
anyway.
a good equivalent for this like age group epi like show as well. Like how do you pull
Yeah,
out the same kind of trope of I don't want to say like the it's not dumb blonde, but like, the third
yeah,
member of the group sort of thing.
yeah. The one who says the funny random things.
Right.
Um, uh, and like and we legit find out a couple episodes ago that she has like blackmail on high up politicians, like
Oh,
like the Prime Minister of Canada, and so she clearly has some like plotting within her. So I I've sort of come to theorize that she's like actually like super intelligent, and she's just playing like some sort of long game, fooling everyone to thinking she's stupid, you know?
right. That
Uh,
sounds like, I mean, you've watched the show, so you know, but sort of come back in season three and now Sophie's the villain sort of aspect.
yeah. Uh, maybe, who knows? Um, so 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 Maddie's like, you know what? I gotta get out of here so that Diego doesn't see me like this. And Sophie's like, you two leave. I'll stay here and block him. And I wrote in my notes like, oh man, this is gonna be good. Um, so, and she was like, hi Diego. And then when he tries to go fall after Maddie, she blocks him like a football player.
Yes, some good
Uh,
physical
uh,
comedy.
uh, uh, uh. Come on, Sophie, what are you doing? And but Diego instantly just thinks of a way to distract her, like, oh, is that girl Juliet now? She's wearing the outfit. Like, nobody is Juliet but me. Because they're putting on a Romeo and Juliet play, and but to, uh, but literally the episode before, Desdemona cast a spell on Sophie to give her the flu so that she'd have to quit the role, and then Emma is like guilted into taking it because it's a whole plot with her to make sure that Daniel and Emma get back together so that she'll be dating a normal human and then they can take her powers away. I think. Uh, um,
Okay, so they're
pretty
really just like
convoluted.
trying to use that plot again in a new fashion to continue the storyline in some way. Or like this character should
Yeah,
already know this information.
yeah, or maybe they're just trying to imply that Sophie forgot that she doesn't have the role anymore. I don't
Right.
know. Um, but anyway, um, so so yeah, Daniel rushes to find Andy in order to help with the situation. And it's like, Andy, I need your help. Emma's a parrot now. Wait, how dare you call her a parrot? And then she says the line that made me like laugh out loud. The what is it? Are you calling her a parrot because she talks a lot? Because she totally does.
Yes, yeah, I did appreciate that.
So, yeah, she goes on and on. Blah, blah, blah. So, is it? And yeah, yeah. Only best friends can say things like that about each other.
Right.
And
So a
oh
question I had here was that
yeah,
so Andy knows that Emma is a witch. Daniel has
yes,
sort of recently found out this information, and Andy has known
yeah,
for a while this information.
yeah. She
Okay,
like literally Emma and Andy found out that she was a witch at the same time. Like she was in the room when like the powers started forming and all that.
got it.
Um,
Okay.
it's like they're very close, you see. Um, and and so but Daniel's like he's like totally chill with helping out now. And it's like so they're like we need to find Emma, and and then there's a joke about Daniel having a giant forehead. Um,
Yes.
and, and that's then like brought back later in the conversation, like you don't actually have a giant forehead. Eh,
I didn't think he actually had a giant forehead. I thought that was a
no.
little cruel and inaccurate.
Yeah, exactly. And like it reminds me of earlier, like in season one, when Maddie made a cruel comment about Daniel having giant ears, which he doesn't really either. That that uh, Daniel's kind of the punching bag of this show. It's like open season with like lying to him or like making fun of him or whatever.
I
Cause
did
he's
notice that. Yeah, I also noticed in looking up like fan reactions, a lot of people were like, "No, we don't like Daniel," and I don't see why. I enjoyed him, even though everyone in the characters sort of does use him as a punching bag.
Yeah, and in as opposed to that, like Jax is like spelled out as being like the the bad boy, like pretty does a lot of pretty unlikable things, but I think it's but but like a lot of the kids who watched the show back in the day like shipped him with Emma, and I think this episode or the second episode that we watched in particular is a big part of the reason why. Oh, they have they have we see his good side. He's actually, has emotions too. Yeah,
Right, yes, I did see a lot of this.
definitely. And so they're like, okay, we gotta find Emma. Let's look around. Maybe we should call her guardian, Nurse Lily. Uh, no, she's off with the council. She, but and that that would take her away. But they resolved like, yeah, well, this is a situation that calls for it. Better pull out the magic mobile phone. That So then we cut to um Lily with the other members of the Witches Council, um Desdemona and Agamemnon. What would you think of their costumes, by the way?
Great names, fantastic. Like I did not understand what they were switching to, but
Yeah.
I was really into Agamemnon's entire getup.
Absolutely. I just a few days ago I talked with the costume designer for this season, and she like gave a bit of the like of her feelings behind like making those costumes look the way they do, just and like this being a very like heightened in terms of hijinks comedy series. It's like it's definitely inviting them to like go all out with like making the costumes like look ridiculous. Uh,
Mhm.
Um, she said that herself, and yeah, that interview will probably be out by the time you listen to this. So, um, everyone out there, hope you enjoy that one. That's the first of my series called Witchy One-on-Ones that I've now started
Nice.
scheduling. Yeah, it's it's a fun name. It's sort of like an alliteration, but not.
Yeah,
Um,
it works.
yeah, thanks. Um, so so Agamemnon is like, how am I the one to find out before you that Daniel and Emma broke up?
I at this point I wasn't sure of everything else, but I was like, wow, everybody is really invested in this couple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she is the chosen one after all.
She's the
Uh,
chosen one. It affects the entire magic realm, like super important.
yeah. Who this teenager is dating? Everyone's got to know and put their thumb on the scale. Uh, um. Yeah. Yeah. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Um. Uh, and Desdemona is like, um, I think that there's a plot for someone to like wreck the magical realm, right? The last light of the full moon. Um, the full moon being like this period in which like uh like a magic aura goes over the world that makes everyone with magic like act crazy, somewhat, to varying degrees, and it like turned Desdemona entirely evil. Um, uh, because she's like the straight up villain at this point.
Right. I
Pulling
loved
the
the
strings.
term full moon. Like we should definitely use
Yeah,
that more often. And I was trying to figure out if the moon, I guess the lunar cycle works differently in the show so that the moon is affecting them for long periods of time, or it's just like
Yeah.
it's coming, so it's feeling stronger as it's coming, sort of thing.
Yeah. So they're in the wake of it right now. And that and Jax like says a bit later there's 6 days left. So I'm guessing
Right.
it's like maybe 3 weeks to a month long. I don't recall them saying exactly if they ever did. Um and and so but right at this moment Lily gets zapped away like and they're like, "Oh, what? The the what happened? How did Lily? Oh, by the way, I hate how they say teletransport. That was so annoying.
Yes. I
We
didn't
need to
notice that,
create
but now that you say it.
we need to create a funny, quirky way of uh of saying it. Like we can't just say transport or teleport. We're gonna combine them, and it's a quirky new word. Ugh.
What
That
is
was
your
kind of
magic realm if you don't have newly specific language for it that is different than every other sci-fi/fantasy world lingo?
yeah. Exactly. Like in it I did a podcast once with the What Were They Thinking podcast about the movie Ultraviolet, and they in that sci-fi movie universe they call um he helmets and sunglasses head covering and eye covering. So like we need to come up with new ways of saying it because just for the sake of it, I guess.
Right,
Um
yeah. Well, I guess, if you're world building, you really need to find the easy ways to sneak in your own stamp. And
yeah,
teletransport,
yeah.
I guess, is one. It doesn't feel as convenient as maybe head covering does,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah, that works better honestly than teletransport. You're right. Um that's a now I'm trying to think of like a better like quirky way to say like teleport. I'll think of one eventually. Um anyway. So 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 Lily gets zapped because to the office because Andy pulls out her magic mobile phone that has a button that can get transport Lily right back to them at any point, and Lily gets no warning of
mid-conversation.
this.
Yes.
Yeah, um yeah, it's not like oh, she gets an alert, we need you. She's just like the
Right.
like
I would think that's pretty inconvenient, although it could just be rudimentary magic for making that happen.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And so Lily is told by them like, "Oh yeah, Emma turned herself into a parrot accidentally." And and so she's like, well, you need to go search for her. Go look in the places where the human Emma likes to be, so she'll probably go there. And you also need to find someone who can cast the reversal spell. And and then Andy quips like, "Oh, can I get you anything else? The like a popcorn or a soda?" It's like,
Right.
uh, and, by the way, uh, so a lot of the time, well, a few times I've asked my guests like, who's your favorite character and why is it Andy? Um, um, she's definitely mine overall, and like at this point, Sophie is kind of a lingering second. Um,
That makes sense.
uh, did um did is did you like sort of pick a favorite?
I liked Andy in this first
Mhm.
episode. I feel like she doesn't get as much to do in the second one. But she seems like a pretty
Mhm.
classic best friend type of this kind of
Yeah,
show. I really liked
yeah.
Maddie, and then we're gonna talk
Mhm.
about
Oh right,
Gigi
you
slash
said that. I forgot. Yeah.
yeah, we talked about G misinformation, and I loved her as a
Mhm.
side character. I didn't know her name was Gigi. I was just like, who is this misinformation?
Yeah, what a great pun for your journalist name. Is
Right, it's great. That
misinformation.
seems like an entire TikTok that I would watch all the time.
Hmm. And like, yeah, she's essentially doing that before TikTok existed, uh,
Right.
which is awesome. She's ahead of the curve. I said in an episode a couple months ago that with my friend Riley that I envision like Gigi being like the AOC of this universe. Like she's gonna like become a congresswoman and slay a bunch of speeches.
Yeah, I
Um,
see it. I would support that career move.
Exactly. Uh, like she has a lot of gumption. I'll give it to her. Um,
Absolutely.
but she's also under a spell by Desdemona. Like the a couple up like I think 2 episodes before this one is called Miss Minion. Be,
Okay.
because because Gigi becomes Desdemona's minion through magic means. Yeah. And so and so yeah, this next scene does involve Gigi as well, because she gives her report on the weather, because she's like reporting, oh, there's a big storm coming, and as you can see with these squiggly lines behind me,
Yeah, it's
she
perfect.
she's an expert meteorologist. Um,
I mean, yeah, she's getting started. She's got time to improve.
yeah, to, I wish the weather reporters on TV would describe it that way. There's these squiggly lines coming up that you can see. Yeah, there's a tropical storm coming this way. That's what these
Right.
squiggly lines indicate.
That
Um,
would explain to me a lot more than some of the context that meteorologists do give. I can
mhm.
see the squiggly lines. I can tell that means something.
Yeah. Also, did you notice how like ancient her laptop is? Like,
I went back to look at that, and yes, I was quite surprised for a show of 2014 to have that kind of
uh,
laptop.
like, I'm sure you like I've edited video content. I'm sure you have as well. Like, there is no way that that computer can handle it.
I
Uh,
don't think that, but it also seemed like that was a choice for someone in the props department to go and find and to be able to do that.
yeah. hmm That that was pretty funny. Yeah. Um. just- And and Gigi says like, oh, also in other news that 8,000 people have sent in their surveys saying that Daniel and Emma should get back together. How she's definitely making that up. There's no way that 8,000 people responded.
I'm curious
Uh,
who the 8,000 people would be. Like, are these just the people who follow her blog? Are these, at first I was like, are there 8,000 students in the school? Like, where is
uh,
that number coming from?
the like okay, yeah, like stretching my disbelief as far as possible. I can't get to there being 8,000 students at this school. Um, so what the question is, why are seven and a half thousand plus students or people who don't go to this school following this girl's blog, if that number is accurate, you know?
Right. I mean, again, like I saw her in 2 minutes and absolutely was transfixed. So it doesn't surprise me that, 7,000 plus people would be also equally transfixed and invested in this relationship of Daniel and Emma that I have learned very quickly is super important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna yeah, gotta follow this blog to keep tabs with the gossip of just two random students that we don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Um. Uh, yeah. And but then she reveals like, oh, today's show is sponsored by my dad. Um. But I'm gonna read off today's special at the 7. Here's our storm special: buy one pizza, get a dozen free. And, and this is Misinformation signing off. The, then her camera guy Sebastian is like, "Wow, are you really giving away like 12 pizzas for every one you buy?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's the thing." Wait, I got that backwards. Whoops.
Misinformation would never give it misinformation.
Yeah, misinformation is never wrong. And and yeah, there are endless jokes you can make. Never giving out misinformation. Haha. Just
Right. I was also thinking like um a dozen pizzas is a lot of pizzas to do this deal in general. Like the way
yeah,
she says it as a buy one pizza get 12 free is a lot, but also buy 12 pizzas get one free seems a lot. Like who is this deal
yeah,
for?
yeah. Like you, like like sometimes you might see like Domino's do like buy three get like one extra medium free. You know.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah, seems either excessively generous or excessively stingy as a deal, you know?
Yes.
Um,
Well, I mean, I didn't think this was going to come back, but it is setting up for later plot points in a way.
because everyone, of course, wants to take advantage of this deal. Um, um, I mean, yeah, duh. If you
Right,
get
yeah. I
by,
would probably do that too, because I don't need 12 pizzas, but I would probably take two or three.
yeah, like, yeah, you just say, hey, you don't have to give me 12, but yeah, two or three, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, and that, and she was like, I'm not gonna go back and correct that mistake on air. I'm just gonna leave it. Um, and then we get to another hilarious moment because Daniel, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go grab the Hexerin, the spell book, out of Emma's room through the window that's left open during the day for some reason. Um, the Yeah, that's a very wise thing to do. Just leave the window wide open when you're not home. Um,
Yeah, I also I was thinking this is probably like a second story window, but it must not be if he can sort of jump right into it and jump right out
yeah.
of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're yeah, Emma's bedroom is on the ground level. Um,
Right.
so um and and like basically it seems like the houses in her neighborhood are basically all single story, I think. Um,
Okay.
but Maddie's house is two stories. I think she lives a bit further away from them. Like uh, and oh, like sorry, this is a bit inside baseball, but like I've speculated like how far, like where the characters live both in relation to each other and the school, and this episode actually clears it up. Emma lives 2 blocks away from the school. So,
Oh,
um,
perfect.
yeah, and so and but Jax lives at a driving distance away. So
Right.
yeah, and because yeah. Anyway, so he's like, I'm gonna look around in Emma's room. Oh, I hear his dad. I hear her dad's footsteps. Football dive out of the window. That was great.
That was great. I was also slightly confused because the dad is the principal of the school and just like
Yeah,
home doing laundry. And I guess I couldn't figure out what day of the week it was that they were at school but didn't seem to need to be at school for any reason.
yeah. Is it? Yeah, because like not neither Andy or Daniel are worried about like the consequences of like spending time looking for Emma and not being in class. Um,
Right. But everybody's at school.
but not the principal.
No.
What? What? What is this?
He just, you know, maybe he just needed a personal day to get all that laundry done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that happens.
Sure.
Um, and so, and so, I just, I can't stress enough how funny his like, whoop, jump out
Yes.
the window is. Um, and it, you can tell he's had to do this a lot. He's like figured out the exact way to jump. Um, is it because he has their sort of relationship with Emma's dad that like, oh, can't be around him because he'll just he'll throw the hammer down on him just for existing, you know.
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah, has
so
he
yeah.
come, have we seen her bedroom before? Like, has he come through the window before?
Oh yes, this is
Okay,
a
this is a
regular
recurring bit.
occurrence.
Got it.
Yeah, and like this is a thing that they both have like coordinated with each other. Like when you come over, come through my window so that he doesn't see you at the door. You know.
Right, right.
Um.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. That they've planned this out, and I mean, no, I mean they're not dating anymore, but yeah, still. The so so he comes back in after Emma's dad leaves. Put the laundry down. Gotta grab the Hexerin, and and then he's like looks around a bit, but then hears the footsteps again, and then jumps again. Whoop. I love so much that it happened twice.
Yes.
That was quite gratifying, and and then and then Andy, she's outside some at the dock, like in their neighborhood, I guess, and she's like putting some sort of food trail on the ground, like um like and then she hears the squawk of a bird, like, ooh, is that her? And then we see a parrot, and I at this moment like was like, I even I can tell that's a different bird. Like,
Right, yes.
um,
I mean,
did you
I
feel
was
that?
using TV logic of like, it is too early in the episode to have found this bird. And it does not seem to be,
Yeah, too
there's no way to
easy.
confirm how this is Emma or not. I mean, I guess you could just pick up a bird and go with it.
Yeah, yeah. As a well, this is a bird. Process of elimination, probably her. Um,
Right. Well, my other thing was like, how
because as
many
they say,
cockatoos are there in Miami that you could be confusing them with?
yeah. And then Lily literally says that the next scene.
Right.
Or was it her? Like, how many or was it Lily or was it Andy who said, like, how many cockatoos could there be on the loose in Miami at the same time?
Right. Someone does say this, and I was sort of like, I think there could be a lot. I mean, it is Miami.
Yeah, and so meanwhile um D Desdemona shows Agamemnon this page of magic manuscript that she found of some sort. Is like, well, here's a page with the timeline of the full moon, and I just found it here at the school. That might mean that that someone was high was keeping it here. Hint, hint. What? Um, and like, and then she's like, how does a powerless witch teletransport? Answer: she can't. Huh. And 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 then Lily gets zapped back into the room. Uh, and
Yeah, I guess the
and
phone must work both ways then? Like you can just go back to where you came from?
yeah, I think she must have her own phone, like her own version of the phone that can like send her back. Like, well, I'm done here. I'll just go back now.
Right.
Um, I, and so she goes back and like, and then Desdemona and they like interrogate her, like, how are you teletransporting like this? Well, I gave a magic mobile phone to Emma so that I can help her in case of an emergency that she needs if she needs it, which I pretty sensible thing to do. But but Desdemona is like, you but I'm supposed to be helping her. Why are you undermining me like this? Uh, I can't be undermining you. We're on the same side.
Right,
So
yeah.
great moment, Lily, right there. Um, and then no, well, we're on the same side. Zaps away again.
Yeah, back out.
And then Desdemona is like, hmm, the Lily being shifty. I bet she's the one who's hiding all these pages away, like with secret plans about using the full moon for some uh uh malicious purposes. Ooh. Um,
Yeah, some classic misdirect happening.
Absolutely. And then and and it turns out that Daniel is the one who used the phone to summon her back. Um, I I love this scene because is it I love the awkward pause in this scene. Because Daniel's like, uh, Lily's like, hey, oh, Andy, why'd you summon me back? Eh, Daniel? Hi, Lily. I'm the one who summoned you back with the phone. Oh, really? Yeah, cause Andy found Emma the bird, and she's bringing her back, and we're gonna get Maddie to do the spell turning her back. Oh, good. So,
Classic. We need to make sure these characters have
is
a conversation, and like really good. It's not quite parent and first ex relationship, but that's definitely the vibe that it came
yeah.
across as.
Mm-hmm. And it's quite funny, like the way they play it, and like the they like it's like brought about through making small talk to break the awkward silence. Like, so I'm glad you're doing all this to help Emma, Daniel. Good on you, because I know you're upset with her. Yeah, well, but that doesn't. Yeah, but this seems pretty serious, so got gotta you, you know, doesn't mean I can't. I'm not concerned when my ex-girlfriend gets turned into a cockatoo. Heh.
Classic.
Yeah, and then she's like um she informs him like, hey, I know you're mad at Emma, but I should probably give you this context. It was she's been under pressure a lot lately, and it's kind of my fault actually, because we've been telling Emma, we've been really pressuring Emma to break up with you. Break up with me? Why would you do that? Well, be, because witches and normal humans aren't allowed to date each other, especially not the chosen one. So so uh so we were threatening that if she didn't break up with you, we were gonna take her powers. Oh, so she was planning to break up with me? That's the thing. No. She, uh, um she was actually gonna she was gonna give up her powers to stay with you. I was like, wow, that really changes things, doesn't it? Um it it's um it's actually pretty neat, the like this sort of I I thought the lines were pretty well done there, like the way it like makes him his thinking shift. Um
Yeah, I thought so. And
it,
I thought
it
it
was
was really well done as exposition dump and like getting all of these characters back onto the same page and understand what's happening. Like
yeah, at
it
the
didn't
same
feel out of
time,
place.
right. And like it sort of made a sweet moment between those two, Lily and him. Um it, yeah, quite sweet, I thought. And
Yeah.
and that and then Andy comes back in with the bird that she found, like, hey, I got Emma right here. And Daniel's like, I don't think that's her. Or no, that doesn't look like Emma. Oh,
Right.
you think her feathers aren't right? Or the beacon? Of course, it doesn't look like her. She's a bird.
To be fair,
The,
he is the only one who has seen what Emma in bird form looks like, so I would trust him over Andy.
yeah, right. Yeah, and Andy was a bit too dismissive, but also that joke was kind of obligatory. Like, that doesn't look like her. Oh, what could possibly not look like her?
Right.
Um, yeah, the, yeah. So 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 Daniel's like, well, Lily, why don't you turn her back? I can't. Well, why can't you? Well, I'm just a powerless witch. I don't have the ability to do it. So yeah, powerless witches are a thing. Were you did that confuse you at all?
There's like reference to her being powerless earlier. What is the reason? I guess, and Emma is possibly going to lose her powers. What is the reason that she's a powerless witch? Or do we not know?
Um, I think I think it's like sometimes like if you're like born from like a magical like family lineage, you can sometimes like if I'm just this is my assumption entirely, but if the genetics aren't right, or like you marry or like if you're the product of like someone marrying into a magic family, then you might not have them as you grow up. I don't know. Um,
Okay.
uh, that's we'll go with that. Um,
There are
and
plot
so
reasons in that it makes sense to have the young witches doing things and also to have an
and the
adult that
guardian,
knows about stuff.
yeah, but who can't like solve the problem for her. Yeah.
Right.
So like I can teach you the spells, but I can't like but you're the like the actual backstop here. I can't like solve the problems for you. That makes you actually have to learn things, you see.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, I was thinking like the dad in Wizards of Waverly Place equivalent, where he loses
yeah,
his
yeah,
powers because he got married to someone who
totally.
wasn't magical. And so I was like, is it a similar situation here? Did she lose them for an entirely different reason?
Yeah, but it does seem like she's never had powers. I guess. Uh, I mean that's
Yeah.
never like been explicitly said, but I do get that vibe. Um so yeah. Um and, and so Andy is like, well, I actually got Maddie to come and do the spell, but I tricked her by saying that this is actually Sophie turned into a bird by Emma, and and in order to make sure that Sophie doesn't come in and tip Maddie off, I locked her in the janitor's closet. What you locked her in the janitor's closet? Oh, she thinks it's just a game of hide and seek.
I would
So
have liked to
she
have
she
seen that scene.
yeah. Um and it's like and I think it's pretty easy to intuit that Sophie like knows how to pick a lock, you know.
Right.
Um it's like she's got some skills that she's like keeping close to her chest, you know. Um uh, and like but just uses them like in situations like, oh, I I'm so crazy. I think we're playing tag and I just got out of the janitor's closet. Haha. But but yeah, I I've said in an episode before, I think the world is in the state that it is because Sophie is like pulling the strings of everything, you know.
I see it. Yes.
Yeah. That that honestly kind of makes sense, you know. Um yeah. So Maddie is like, um uh, all right, all right, I'm here. Yeah, Emma turned Sophie into a bird and then ran away. So, ah, don't worry, I can do this. I've accidentally turned Sophie into a bird loads of times. Uh,
Again, I was like, this seems Daniel's reaction, or like people were really concerned, but maybe this is just a really common spell that people are using of just like turning things into birds all the time.
yeah, whoops. Oh, she's a bird now. Ah, uh, classic. Um,
Right.
uh, I mean, that happens to me all the time. I accidentally turn the people I know into birds. You know. Um,
That's the go-to reaction to everything.
yeah. And so Maddie is like, she sees the hexer and she's like, oh, I remember you. It's the Hexasaurus.
Yeah.
It's a running joke in this show that she never knows how to pronounce the word hexerin. Like she says, like,
Okay.
I'm gonna kidnap the hexasacowerosonogram, and and everyone's like, not even close. But um, but I do get the vibe that she's sort of like played that one knowingly, like the Hexasaurus. Like I'm making fun of the fact that I never say it properly. Um,
Yeah, it did feel that way. Like she was trying to make fun of it.
yeah, and so that so she casts the spell like turn this bird back into a person, but then we find out, oh, this was a real bird the whole time, and now it's just turned into it's in human form with like a bird's consciousness, but
I
but it also
loved the makeup on this bird person.
yes, and like the feather like boas and necklaces and things.
Yeah, there was like significant effort in here. I really props to the makeup team and to the costuming team.
Yeah, that was like yeah, that could have been like an excellent look to, pull at some club,
Right.
the, so but yeah, she's a bird person now, and she makes the exact bird noises out of a human's mouth, like the and
Right.
like
Which I
more
guess,
more realistic than that.
yeah, I guess it's because the the bird was a bird being turned into a person, because Emma as a bird does not speak like a human. But is it like the vocalization on the human end can't become words? That was also a
Yeah,
question I had.
yeah. Well, the bird doesn't know English, I guess.
I guess.
Probably.
And just
Yeah.
goes out of the room. Like, I don't know if we ever see this bird gets turned back into a bird.
Yeah. Maybe this bird person was just let loose on Miami and was just never dealt with, you know.
Right.
Um. Uh. Yeah. Uh, I can imagine these characters just like, whatever, and just like, forget it, and then the bird
Right,
person's just
yeah.
out there.
They'll figure it out.
Um. That yeah. The yeah, a common theme in like Nickelodeon shows is like the characters never uh, uh care to about the responsibility of their actions, you know. Um.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah. Um. And and then and it's like and then Maddie is like, well, wait, why are you saying that's not Emma? You mean this was supposed to be Emma and you tricked me? What? Yeah, we did. Emma accidentally turned herself into a bird, and we needed you to do the spell to change her back. Well, I'm not doing it. Bye. Or actually, um, no, she says like, uh, no, I'm not doing it. Now, where's Sophie? And 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 Daniel's like, well, she's in the, and then Andy cuts him off. No, don't tell her. Sophie's the only leverage we have left.
Yeah.
Uh,
Until Sophie
she's,
comes barreling in.
yeah. Andy is cold and calculating sometimes. She's just thinking in those terms. But but that instantly goes out the window, right? Because oh, tag, you're it. Whee! Just, just classic Sophie. Um. Uh, oh, and oh, it's great how Maddie is like, oh wait, she turned herself into a bird. Yeah, and she's the chosen one.
Yes, I also made note of that.
Fair, Maddie. Good. Yeah, good point. Um, and she was so flustered she didn't notice that the spell could like bounce off a mirror and hit her. That was that was pretty contrived, wasn't it?
It
Um,
was a little contrived. It's also just like, again, turning things into birds is your first reaction.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, um, but they're like, next we should try a locator spell. But if Maddie's not gonna do it, then who will? Who can we get? And and but then we cut to a scene where Maddie comes back to her house and Diego's there and he finds out he sees Maddie's face turning to different colors and he's like, oh, your face is changing colors and well and they sort of like rationalize like, oh, it's like a mood ring. Your face is being like a mood ring. It's like you turn red when you're angry and like purple when you're in pain and such. And it's like, well, what color is it right now? Says Diego. Like, no, it's nothing. Get out. It's like, fine, I'll leave. And and then and and then and then Maddie's face turns blue. And,
Yes.
um, what? What color is it now? Blue, and blue means sadness. Sadness because I miss him now that he's gone. Oh, so Maddie does have a heart after all.
Yeah. I mean, she's wearing her heart on her face, as it were.
Uh-huh. Yeah, not on her sleeve, on her face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
also wanted to comment on
yeah.
not Emma's, on Maddie's shoes and her outfit at this
Oh
point.
yeah.
Because
Uh-huh.
I was a big fan of Degrassi, and there was a common
Uh-huh.
complaint of Degrassi at this like 2014 era of
Yeah.
the young women wearing like outfits that made them
w-
look like they were like Southern Baptist women and going to church on
Uh,
Sunday. And Maddie's
mhm.
outfit definitely was giving me those vibes with like the chunky necklace and the dress and her like
Oh
her
yeah.
heels.
Yeah. This show has so many statement necklaces in it. Like it has a
Yes.
thing for statement necklaces. And I brought this up to the costume designer when I spoke with her the other day, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that was part of the aesthetic." That I mean, it wasn't her choice. She came on for season 2 and was just like continuing, the continuity of it. It wasn't like her idea, but yeah, she told me like not only did we have all these statement necklaces, like for every one of them they had like doubles and triples for filming, Um
Right. I mean, it was
so
of the
so
time, but it did seem like very specific to her character.
yeah. Uh, yeah, like well actually it I mean, yeah, she does wear them a lot, but so do like quite a lot of the characters. Like Sophie does, Maddie's mom does, even Andy does. Like
Hmm.
um like the tomboyish Andy wears a lot of statement necklaces. Um
Right.
That didn't you love how Andy had like the one purple streak in her hair?
Yes. Also very like stereotypical of that sidekick character.
Mhm. Well, yeah, she's tomboyish, you see.
Yeah, how else would you know?
Mhm. Exactly. And yeah, so um but the so they're like uh we need to they tell Jax like we need to turn well Andy tells him like yeah, Emma turned herself into a bird, well, she's in trouble. She turned herself into an animal. We need to get her back, and he's like, oh yeah, Emma being a klutz. Yep, that seems like her. All right, let's go. What happened to her? Oh, she transformed herself like into some sort of animal. Like what? A dog? A cat? Oh no, a bird. The a A b b a, what? Are you afraid of birds? No, I'm not scared of birds. I love how he says it in his afraid voice. The birds. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
and and I gotta go. I have something to do. uh, oh no, you don't. And and I got immediately scared for Jax when Andy like pulls out some rope. I was like, oh God.
That was intense. I mean, I guess I both that she knew like great, this is the solution, this is how we're gonna handle it, and needing to handle a phobia in that way.
But like she didn't come into that conversation knowing that he had a phobia of birds. Like
Right,
uh
she just has that
she just
ready to go.
yeah, and like as far as like leading up to that part of the conversation, he was like totally willing to just help out like just through being friends with them. Uh, so so but Andy came prepared, I guess, to prepared to the nines, with
Maybe she thought she was
rope,
gonna have to convince him for some reason.
or or maybe she just always carries rope in her bag. You never for she's like you never know the situation that you might need to tie someone up.
Right.
Um, yeah, and and so then so um so but she they all meet at Daniel's house. I love how everyone just congregates at Daniel's house because uh so Andy ties Jax to a dolly and and um and and they're like, all right, Jax, um we're we gotta get Emma back. We gotta do this locator spell. But then Daniel says like, wait, who's gonna do the locator spell? Maddie said she wouldn't do it, and that and like and and then Jax is like, well, actually, I can. Wait, Jax, you too? You have powers? You're a witch? Excuse you, a wizard? That's a running joke with him. He's like, uh, why does no one know the term wizard? I'm a wizard. Um,
Well, up until that point,
absolutely.
because there is the Witches' Council and Agamemnon's on the Witches' Council, so I just assumed everybody in this universe was a witch.
Yeah, it's the opposite of, well, that would be like the opposite of Wizards of Waverly Place, where everyone, regardless of gender, is a wizard. You know,
Right.
Alex is a wizard. They never say talk about anyone being a witch that way. Um, but yeah. So, so uh, I I guess it's I guess it's more easy to say like the family wizard instead of the family magic user, I guess. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would have been, I don't know if it's fair to say it would have been more progressive for everybody to have been witches in this universe, but it seemed like a really
yeah,
distinct point for Jax.
yeah. The it's it like a it was like an attack on his manliness to be referred to as a witch. I could tell.
Right.
Um, so yeah. Um, but but Daniel's like, wait, whatever. Well, I'll deal with that later. He's like, whatever. I'll put that aside for now. I don't really care. But
Right.
like enough weird stuff has happened. I don't really care anymore. Um, and and so and and so so but he is like jealous, I can tell. And then Jax he gives a locator spell like, oh, the the part where he's like in denial about what he's gonna have to do because like um we need you to look to bring Emma here. Emma the person or Emma the bird? If it were and I'm like, if it were Emma the person, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Well, I
Um,
was also thinking, like, is it more complicated of a spell to do both at the same time?
yeah, it's like so he had to but yeah, it was tough because he had to imagine a bird in his mind, which is clearly the sticking point with his phobia. As
Right.
and so he's like, summon Emma to be here, and then afterwards while tied up to the dolly, he faints. Um, and I felt bad for him a little bit, like, ooh, but I yeah, phobias are sometimes no joke, you know.
That and
So,
like not only did he faint, but he is tied up. Like that's going to be stressful regardless.
like that's gonna cause like some whiplash, you know.
Right.
Um, so but yeah, the it the so he's able to cast a spell while tied up. He has enough mobility with his hand, but later at the end of the scene, he has to call out to everyone else to untie him. Why couldn't he cast a spell to untie himself? He
That's
was able to
true.
do
I
that.
had not thought about that.
Plot hole in this show. The-
Well, then you wouldn't
the-
have the great joke. So, I mean, he just really
yeah,
was thinking about the
yeah,
writers.
yeah, exactly. Um, so meanwhile, Maddie Um, okay, this leads into a bit that's kind of brilliant, but Maddie, she just being Maddie, she assumes that Emma must have caused her face situation. Like, oh yeah, Emma must have done it, and she must have done this to me, and then turned herself into a bird so that she could escape consequences. I guess. Uh, Maddie, Maddie doesn't think this through, of course. Um, but
I mean, we don't,
she
yeah, I don't know. We don't know why Maddie had been turning Sophie into a bird a lot of times, as she mentions earlier too. So maybe this has been like, yeah, that's why you turn into a bird, is to escape the situation.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, but like how are you gonna turn yourself back once you turn into a bird?
You
Do you
can't expect a
cast a
high schooler
spell
to think that far ahead.
yeah. Do, can a bird cast a spell with its talons? Um,
Maybe.
uh, hmm. Well, maybe they should have explored that. That would have been fun. Um, but wouldn't it have been so funny to like see a bird like cast spells willy nilly? You know,
Yeah, I would have loved it. Would have been great.
it was like oh no, the bird going like and like oh no, that would have been great. But the, so so then Matt um so so the bird's there and they're and Jax is out cold. Andy is trying to wake him up, so like shaking him like, "Hey, Jax, wake up now!" And 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 meanwhile, Daniel like spills his guts to the bird Emma. Like, yeah, I wasn't treating you the right way in our relationship. I hope you can forgive me. So I don't know if you can even understand what I'm saying, but I need to get this off my chest.
I really liked this moment between them.
Yeah, that was really fun. Uh, yeah, yeah. Um, I'll telling you the bird what I really feel when you're not able to respond to me,
Right.
which is always the best time to spill your guts when the other person can't respond. Like you know sometimes scenes in movies where the the character like confesses things to the character while they're asleep. You know. Um,
Hmm.
So yeah. Um, so then Maddie enters. She insists that Emma did the mood ring face thing, and 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 oh that I yeah this is the bit of brilliance that Emma and Daniel or Andy and Daniel do with each other on the spot where like the and Daniel's like uh no, Emma would never do that. She's too kind. And then Andy's like, well, and then Daniel's like, yeah, and maybe. So egging Maddie on, convincing her of her like previous thought. So,
I
like,
mean, again,
yeah, I
Andy's
got
got the leverage figured out here.
mm-hmm. And and Daniel like through silent communication picks this up and and uh uh, and it's like there's like they form a plan to like oh this is the mode Maddie's in, we're gonna like egg her on, so it's like yeah I'm gonna turn Emma back so that she can now face the consequences, turn this bird back into a person, and then Emma's right back there in human form, and they're all like oh yay Emma you're back hooray, and she's like oh what happened what. Oh, you turn yourself into a bird. Oh, that's funny. Waka waka. Uh, and then and and then and then Maddie's like, or um wait who um she says like yeah. Why are you like congratulating each other? I'm the one who changed you back. Like I want like you better be thanking me. I want the credit. Um,
Right.
which is I love that she's like yeah you're being so like you're being so like pleasant and like laughing with each other. You should be thanking me. Um, as, um, as a, so but yeah what now I'm gonna get revenge on you for doing this thing with my face, making it a mood ring. What I didn't do that. Yes you did, you liar. Wait, and then she figures it out. I was like, wait, you guys, you were egging me on so that I would be so I'd be mad enough and to do this for you, huh? Huh? Well done, huh?
Twice in one episode.
Yes. Um. Yeah. The you um. I would say you'd think she wouldn't fall for it twice, but she also is Maddie, so um
Yeah, no. It makes sense in her logic.
yeah. So um so the yeah, they pulled one on her on the spot, and and so yeah, they tricked Maddie into doing it, and then they're like, well, we better leave because there's a storm coming. Yeah, yeah. It's like, I think I, it, Maddie's like, well, I'll just stay here then. I think I'll order pizza. And then Andy and Emma are like, ooh, I want pizza. And
Yes.
because we heard about this 12 for 1 deal
Yeah, everybody's
at
gonna go cash in on this great deal.
mm-hmm, at and 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 yeah, that and they're like, all right, let's leave. And Daniel and Maddie go sit on the couch, and then Jax is left there in his tied up state, like, hello, someone please help me. And then Matt, Andy, and Emma come back and they're like, all right, let's untie you.
Well, they like wheel him out first. They don't immediately untie him, which I was like, no, no, you cannot roll me out somewhere else. You need to untie me here and now.
Yeah, exactly. He, but also I can sort of buy that he's like like with his phobia and such and all that he's been through. He's in a stressed out state. He wouldn't think to use a spell to untie himself. That I can
Right.
sort of buy actually.
That makes sense
Um,
now.
yeah. So yeah, there's a storm coming, and but working at the restaurant later, Gigi is there with Diego. They're working behind the counter, and all these people are coming up ordering their 12 pizzas, 12 free pizzas with the one that they buy. Um, uh, like and yeah, and yeah, yeah. So they work together at the restaurant that their dad owns, and it's pretty clear that they're like basically making the restaurant like hemorrhage money. Um,
Right. I was trying to figure out what other shows use this restaurant set because it looked really familiar to me.
oh sure. Um, yeah, I can't think of what it might be, but if I manage to get the production designer of this show to do an interview with me, then I'll ask about it.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Absolutely. And Diego says to Gigi, like, Dad's gonna be furious with you, for saying that we give 12 free pizzas for every one that person buys. And she's like, well, that's how I reported it. So we gotta fulfill it. Well, why didn't you go back on air and retract it? Because misinformation is never wrong, even when she is. Um, so and 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 uh and Andy orders two of the special orders, like buy two pizzas, get four, what's 24 extra.
Which is an
And
insane amount of pizza.
yeah, and then Andy says like it's just for the two of them, Andy and Emma, to eat. Um and 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 Diego, I love how he takes a second, but I was gonna make fun of him for like having to figure out the math on like 2 times 12 plus 2, but also I kind of like took a few seconds to figure out the math just now, so that would be hypocritical of me to make fun of him for it. Um, so but yeah, why would you need 26 pizzas? And that and then it and right and Sophie walks right up next to Andy at the same time at the counter, and they both say in unison, "Pizza Fort."
An obvious answer I had not thought about before they said it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, don't if you had wouldn't you get 12 pizzas or 13 pizzas to build a pizza fort just for the sake of it? Like,
I mean, I might do that with the pizza boxes, but I don't think I would do that with the pizzas themselves. Like that just seems wasteful.
Yeah, yeah, it totally is like yeah, 12, 12 pizzas would totally go bad before you could eat that. Um,
Right.
uh, I mean, yeah, like that. Of course, that only seems like a the perfect deal to take advantage of if you're having a party with a lot of people. Like, um,
Right,
but
like
yeah,
they could split the pizzas between them and still probably build a pizza fort with 12 boxes, 13 boxes.
yeah, uh, and yeah, but I guess it adds to it that they have the pizzas in them. We have a pizza fort, uh,
Right.
um, not just a pizza box fort. It's fun kid logic. You don't think about the waste of it. Um, and and I love how like Andy and Sophie like look at each other, and she's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
what are you doing here? Whatever." And yeah, Sophie and Andy think alike. Great minds, you know. Um, and then Desdemona comes up with the theory that Lily is conspiring to take Emma's powers that she'll give up in order to date Daniel. Um, well, she at least makes that up in order as a lie to Agamemnon, and he's like, that's a good thought, but I can't think about that further anymore. I'm gonna go take advantage of that pizza special.
Again,
That's
another,
so,
plot important reason for this pizza mishap.
yeah, exactly. Says the wizard who can, we've seen him like generate food with magic before, but he's got to take advantage of the free pizza.
If the deal exists. I also, as someone who was not familiar with Lily's character, and like obviously I knew
Mhm.
Desdemona was evil or the villain in this case, but I was like, that's pretty sound logic of like she would be trying to steal Emma's powers. I didn't immediately
Yeah,
think like, why would she do that?
no, she's too good and virtuous. You see,
Sure, but
she's
it's
not
like
selfish that way.
I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not knowing her, I can see why you like that might be like believable. Yeah.
Why, yeah, why
So
Agamemnon wouldn't immediately question it.
yeah, but also he's thinking about those pizzas. Yeah. Is yeah, like all this stuff about like danger and the threats to the magical realm can wait. Got to get those pizzas.
Right, yeah,
Um,
no. There's just a storm coming. Who would be concerned?
yeah, there is it. I love how often everyone says there's a storm coming. Like the way that people say like oh that like some like as a way of just saying something threatening in general. But
Right.
no, there's a literal storm coming.
I mean, right. Yeah. I was thinking, I mean, it's Miami, hurricane season. Like, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
maybe that is a thing that people in Miami would say, but yes, as a like, we need to hammer home the point that there's a plot thing happening and it is a storm that's literally happening is great.
Yeah, exactly. And so so Desdemona, she's like conspiring to get Daniel and Emma back together so that she'll eventually have to give up her powers. Yeah, that's her plan at this point. And so she gets her minion Gigi to hack to like to do to like send fake text messages that her phone will think will like come from well, that Emma will think a text came from her dad saying to go to school, and same thing with Daniel say for tell with saying that Emma's telling him to go to school. I think, um, yeah, and so and and like what a brilliant magic trick you've concocted, Gigi. Oh, oh, thanks, but it's just basic hacking. The and she's hacking using her cell phone. Like how does that work?
Right. I mean, yeah, Gigi's pretty skilled. She's got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, yeah um yeah Gigi can somehow use her cell phone to like like send text messages that'll like come from another person's contact or number. Somehow she figured this out. Because she's had years of experience of like getting dirt on people for her journalism. You see.
Right.
Yeah, she's got the information. She's misinformation.
Yeah. I mean, she's got this great spoofing plan. I feel like she should be taking over the world. Like, there's a lot more that she could be doing with
Mm-hmm.
this.
Totally. She could make. Ooh, that I want to see that spin-off show, Gigi and Sophie, like in a rivalry battle to like take over the world with their skills.
Yes.
Uh,
I support this.
That's the yeah, that's the show that should be greenlit today, like with them as adults, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so 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 and Desdemona then whips up a magical storm to that'll like that'll once Daniel and Emma are in the school, it'll trap them in there, and then that'll force them to reconnect. I guess that's as far as she's thinking ahead. And also, she just sits there and assumes that happened, that they're both there and trapped there.
Right. No need to confirm. Just send the text, and everything will work out.
Yeah, no need to either look yourself or have Gigi like confirm it somehow. Just yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and assume that they're both there and trapped there.
Right. And meanwhile, I'm
Yeah.
gonna put together this awesome storm.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have a disturbing amount of fun doing it.
Yes.
Um, and so 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 Emma goes to the school believing that she got a text from her dad, which is really Gigi, saying that he needs her to be there. I don't know, like during a storm, he's asking me to go to the school. All right, better go. Wait, isn't Andy at home with Emma when this happens? Am I right about that?
I think so.
Yeah, as well. I think that's why after that, Andy has nothing to do, so she goes to hang out with Diego at the 7.
Right. She goes back for the pizzas.
Yeah, and so and then and meanwhile the terrible three they're pranking Maddie. You see, they've tied her up in some kind of like slingshot device.
There were several references to the Terrible Three before this point, just as the T3, and I kept having in my notes like, what are the T3? What is T3? And then realizing like, oh, they're children. And I was similarly to the other spinoff we just discussed, I was like, I would love to see a spinoff of these children who are about to torture Daniel's ex-girlfriend.
Oh yes, they have her like tied up, and I didn't realize that it was like so. It was a weird looking thing, but like, are they gonna like torture her in some way? Are they gonna like waterboard her? Something like that?
I had no idea what was coming.
But it's stranger than that, because Daniel's like, hey, what are you doing? Daniel, help me! They're kidnapping me! And then they're like, we're gonna count down until we open the garage. They have a giant like ominous looking button. Well, what? Okay. That definitely gets dropped on the ground, like button down. Why didn't that get pressed? You know?
That's true. Yeah, that's concerning.
Yeah, but it didn't go off, and so he's like, T3, better stop this, or I'm gonna tell Mom on you. Ah, run away. And then Maddie's like, wait, wasn't it her who said they were going to launch me into the tornado?
Yes.
Huh. Okay. I don't think that was gonna work the way they thought it would.
I don't think so, but also that's like another level of deviousness from small children.
So like they intended to essentially kill her.
Right.
Like that was their plan. We're gonna launch her into a tornado, but we're children. We don't think about what death means. Um,
No, but they
as
do have
and
the physics knowledge to figure out how to do this, apparently.
well, what probably would have happened is like, well, of course there was no like, well, I mean, there was a bunch of wind. I don't think there was a tornado like this, because a cyclone that would have done that. But also, I think what would have happened is that she would have just gotten launched like a couple dozen feet into the air and then gone splat on the ground. Like
Right. I mean, something painful would have
probably,
happened. I don't know that it would have been death.
yeah, but still quite possibly death.
Right.
But anyway, but yeah, and so but but yeah, and but then Daniel and he drops his phone on the ground. He gets the text from Emma, which is actually Gigi, but he doesn't see it.
Nope.
Waka waka. Um,
A spoof
uh,
only works if
and
you
so
actually see the text.
yeah, and so and just because he never picks up his phone for the next couple hours, that the plan doesn't work on Desdemona's part.
Right.
Um, so so yeah. So so yeah. So Emma goes. She's like in the school, like, Dad, where are you? And then Jax like teleports right behind her. Boo! Like essentially, like like what? Why are you doing that? But why creeping me out like that? Is it creep scaring me like you're scared of birds? Ooh. See, now we're even.
Right.
I think that was very fair, honestly. Like normally I wouldn't be down for bullying someone for their phobia, but he did just, teleport behind her and jump scare her. So
Right.
it was fair game.
Do we know why he's teleporting there?
Um I I think it's implied that he was like following her and knew where she would be.
Okay. So yeah,
I think
absolutely fair
yeah.
on her part to
Um
throw that back at him.
hmm and 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 he's like um wait, did you start this? Did you start this, or did you send me a fake text message to get me here, and then have me alone with you, and like you did that one time before? Because that did happen in this like episode 3 of this season, and
Okay.
and he's like, no, I don't repeat tricks. Uh-huh. Um, and and then and then they go into the principal's office. Well, actually, they're in the principal's office when this happens, and they don't see Emma's dad anywhere. So that's what tips her off, and she like accuses him of tricking her. But then she goes to the door, and she can't open it. What?
Oh no.
Um, and then we cut away from that, and to to Gigi and Desdemona, and Gigi she says, how do you know that they're both there and that your plan is working? And I don't and Desdemona responds, I don't know whether she said, I don't have time for your relevant questions or your irrelevant questions. Um but either way, it's really funny because
Right.
I assume that she said relevant questions. Because I don't have time. I'm not gonna answer your entirely valid question.
That's a great
'Cause
joke. Love it.
I'm acknowledging that. Yeah, I'm acknowledging that it's valid, but I'm just too lazy to check. Whatever. It probably is. And he's like, that the storm is not strong enough. I'm gonna make it stronger. um, uh, I'm gonna wildly gesticulate because that's funny. Um,
Yes.
uh, and uh, hmm, that like we're talking about like stressful situations and and like knowing whether or not like whether we can like excuse um like bad assumptions or like not thinking to do things. Um, Emma is like, she's like, oh no, I can't get the door open. It's locked. What? And that, and then Jax is like, the door is not locked. It just opens inward. So,
Like, I don't think, and not
Emma,
to say that Emma is not always thinking multiple steps ahead, but she's pretty reactive in the moment of like, great, this is happening,
yeah,
so lots of stress.
yeah, she had the wherewithal to think to turn some squirt guns into birds. So,
Yeah.
uh, but also, Emma, your dad's the principal. We can assume you've been in this office quite a bit. Why didn't you instinctively know that the door opens outward or inward? I
This
mean,
is true.
um, like I think like that's muscle memory that you'd have in a stressful situation. You know,
Right.
you'd think. Um, but yeah. Um, but then it's like I don't know. We should try and make a break for it. I live 2 blocks away. This is when Emma drops that knowledge on us. Um,
Right.
but then, but then they can't leave because debris and tree branches like they're blown into the school, even like into the principal's office.
Which is
A
this
bunch
is
of
quite
leaves
the
and
strong storm. And I made a note that I loved the special effects of the leaves and then whoever the prop person was that just throws the
mm,
branch into the hallway. Like that was solid. This
oh
is the
yeah,
experience of the storm you're having.
yes. You know, I'm arranging interviews with people who worked on the show. I need to track down that person, the one who threw the tree branch.
Yeah.
Uh, I need to pick his brain or whoever that is. Who um I just assumed it was a he. I don't know. Sorry,
I mean, I would love to know
shouldn't have
like
assumed that.
what was the speed you had to think about throwing this at? What was the how did you choose a branch to like represent this? There were lots of questions here.
Yeah, exactly. The yeah, we need to pick that person's brain. Maybe that'll be upcoming in the witchy one-on-ones. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um so so and then and that and then Emma accuses again Jax of of trapping of like manipulating her like plotting to trap her here with him alone and he says, "Hey, does that sound like something I would do?" Glares at it. All right, fine. Yeah, it does sound like something I would do. Great joke. And well, but I didn't actually. Uh, well, can't you get us out of here, Jax? Like, uh, get us away? No, I can't. Teletransporting during storms is dangerous. Um, and and then and then we cut and as another comedic bit of editing, we cut to that immediately being validated because Desdemona and Gigi teletransport into the janitor's closet and and they're like all like uh woozy from being like zapped with electricity. So they're like,
Yeah, I thought
oh,
that
that
their
not
hair
so,
here looked great. Like you hit the nail on the head of this is what this is how to convey electrocution in a fun way.
yeah, Home Alone style. Yeah.
Right.
Um uh, the and like the uh Desdemona says like, yeah, don't teleport during or don't teletransport during thunderstorms. It wasn't just an old witch's tale. Haha. So, um and uh, and well yeah, we got to make sure that we got to make sure that Emma and Daniel are getting closer together. Ooh, it's like we're playing Cupid, says Gigi. Uh, uh Gigi's just so cute sometimes, just saying like, yeah, love making love happen. Is it
Yeah, she's excited to be a minion,
is
like
her
a minion.
yeah, and I mean, like she's through her show, she's like trying to get Daniel and Emma back together. She actually said earlier, like, fingers crossed.
Right.
That that was pretty, and yeah, and and yes, I am like Cupid. If Cupid were this beautiful, gorgeous mastermind witch. Uh, hmm. That was some funny bit of cringe right there.
Yeah.
Like the that was like a The Office bit of like, yeah, someone on there would say something like that. Um yeah. And but yeah. So um oh the and wait, I misplaced this bit earlier, the bit with launching Maddie into the tornado. This actually happens right here. But after that, and after he frees Maddie from the thing, he's like uh uh and it's like, yeah, so someday they're either gonna be, it, what is exactly does he say? Either they're gonna be like
Like
Matt
rule the
uh
world or in jail.
ru- yeah, they're either gonna rule the world or be in jail. And then Maddie says like, I'm pulling for jail personally. Yeah, so is half of Miami.
Again, like I want to know the
Love that
antics that
bit.
they're getting up to the rest of the time.
Oh yeah, they have liquid nitrogen, and they have CO2 canisters, and yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
and they and they there are multiple different oatmeal trap scenes that they where they set them. What one time they rigged a bunch of fish to fall on Jax's head. Um, they're always pulling mischief. They're called the Terrible Three for a reason.
Right.
And yeah. Um, so so and but so they're like, what are we gonna do? We're trapped here with the storm. We should let's watch some TV. Oh nope, the cable's out. Uh, the well, you want to play video games? She's offended by the suggestion that they play video games and ruin my manicure. Ah, no. All right. Well, what do you want to do? And the and then they give a look at each other like, why don't you just hold me close,
Right.
like
Yeah.
old times? And yeah, I was like, yeah, it couldn't be more obvious what you're doing right here. Just like, we're sitting together, and we're not too mad at each other. There's nothing else to do. Hmm. the and I was like, I don't know whether I'm okay with this or not. Like, did you have any thoughts? Like, were
I
you
I
were you down
did
for this?
I did have a note of like they used to date, what's happening here. Also, it's like very quick, right? Not innuendo, but insinuation of what's gonna happen. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it felt to me a little quick on Daniel's part, who has been so into Emma. Of like, great, mommy's just gonna turn all this back to Maddie now that she's sitting here on the couch with me. But I don't know if I feel strong enough to say concerned, but I was
Yeah,
not sure what was gonna come next.
yeah, yeah. Like even if we can consider like Daniel to have forgiven Emma or Maddie for all the awful stuff that she's done, and like because like they were in a relationship before, and like she like treated him awfully, like very she essentially was like making him subservient, like you better carry my umbrella and bring me smoothies and whatnot, um
Hmm.
and do whatever I want. But now that she's mellowed out, he's like receptive to like rekindling things with her a bit. Um,
Right.
uh, and but uh, yeah, all too quick to my estimation. Um, as it they're I mean, I can understand like like having a nice chat, but he's like all too like warm, like, oh yeah, I like you again now.
Right, yeah. It seemed
Felt
quick.
felt 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 a bit much. And like she's like she's like moving close to him too, and I'm like, Maddie, you're well. I was gonna say, Maddie, you're in a relationship, but also, as we hear, she doesn't consider it that way.
Right.
Because to be in a relationship means you're always fighting. That's what romantic comedies have taught me.
Yes, I was very concerned about that line. I think
Yeah,
it comes up a little later, but it was
it's like,
really concerning.
yeah, but yeah, well, we'll get to that. But Emma Emma's like talking to her with her dad on the phone. And she's like, "Yeah, we're at the school, and but yeah, it's not really safe to go anywhere. We'll just hunker down right here." Yeah, hangs up, doesn't say goodbye. Like that's a common thing in movies. I don't like in one of my classes, like in college, we were showing like a montage of like in movies, characters like never saying goodbye. They hang up the phone, like, yeah, 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 hang up.
I guess
Why
that
is
her
that a thing?
father doesn't question the fact that she's at school. Like, again, what day of the week is this? What time is this? What is she doing there?
Yeah, but she was just told supposedly by him to go to the school, just
Right.
to meet him there, I guess.
I also liked that
Yeah,
on the principal's desk, his desk, he just has a picture of Emma.
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I, I mean that I think that's pretty par for the course. Like have a picture of your kid on your desk.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's the only thing on his desk,
pretty
and I
sweet.
was like, this is cute. This is like good props choice to make.
Yeah, exactly. It stands out that way when it's the only thing there.
Right.
And uh, but then and Jax is like, well, you're yeah, my dad cares about us being safe, and Jack is like, well, well, or Emma's like, what, shouldn't we call your dad? And he's like, well, my dad doesn't care. Uh, and I could instantly tell, like, oh, we're getting the bad boy's sad backstory now.
Yes, I also have that note.
Um, we're gonna get his redemption because he's gonna tell like sad details about his life. That makes up for all the awful things he does. Totally.
Hmm.
Um. So, but and like proving like he doesn't have respect for people. He just pulls out Daniel's like student file from the filing cabinet. It's like, ooh, I'm gonna look at the embarrassing details about Daniel. Like, ooh, what? His middle name is Horatio. Ha 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 ha! Laugh at him for that. Uh, uh, and then and he's like, what? His math grade is really suffering. And she's like, no, it's not. Well, it's about to be. I'm gonna cast a spell to make him be flunking math.
Hmm.
No, you can't do that. Uh, he's worked very hard for his math grade, and I work hard for mine. I tutored him to make sure that he got his grades up, and uh, and uh, and then she's like, actually, you know what? Cast a spell, and it turns all his grades into A's. She's like, oh, can't. Oh no, another example of me not being able to stop myself. The full moon. Ah.
Right.
Well, That's something you should encourage. Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel good to be bad? Says Jax. Uh, it's like, yeah. I mean,
I love
even
that
like
the bad boy implication
what?
here is like, doesn't it feel good to change someone's grades for the better?
Yes. Doesn't it feel good to violate academic integrity to
Right.
be nice? I guess I don't know. I don't know the way he thinks, but but like um, that he's like, yeah, this full moon, it's doing a number on me. He's like, yeah, oh, well, we just gotta get through the 6 days that are left in the full moon. Oh, I'm gonna look at Diego's grades. Whew, those are rough. Eh, oh my God, Emma's response. Hey, he's very street smart. What? So you advocate for him like, hey, I know he's kind of dumb as a rock in school, but he's street smart. What
Right.
what what does that even mean? But uh, oh, there was a joke in season 1 that Diego said like I can't be special or talented. I am in remedial everything, even lunch. I have to use a spork.
No.
Ha 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 ha. Is it? Is it? They? I mean, uh, like like he like he like he's like to imply that he has like developmental delays. I guess.
Right.
He,
That's harsh.
yeah, but also he like I don't know. He doesn't really seem to be like I don't know. It doesn't. But maybe I'm not in the right place to say because
I mean, I haven't
um
received any indication that that character is supposed to be smart or challenged at school in any regard.
yeah, like he seems to he seems to be like operating like the same level socially as everyone else, just
Right.
about, you know. Uh, yeah, I mean, of course, I'm not one to like say like everyone who has developmental delays like acts this way or that way, but that's seems like an odd like punching down sort of joke, you know. Uh,
Right.
I
It
don't know.
seems like an not an older joke than the show is, but it doesn't seem to quite fit with the rest of the writing.
Yeah. Hmm. And like um it, I don't know if I don't know how much I want to get into this, but like there there have been a few different times when I've like talked about like it's particularly with the Diego character like because he's a Kanai, he has like elemental based powers. Did I don't know if these episodes got into that at all. Did you
I did
were you
not
told
get
about
any of
that in
that
any
from
way?
here.
So yeah, but so basically a Kanai is like a a different like uh species of magic being to witches slash wizards. The ones that can like control elements like throw fire and like blow wind and ice and things. Um, as a definitely not inspired by the Avatar at all. Um,
No, no.
and and yeah, just the same way that the Panthers aren't inspired by the plastics in Mean Girls. Um, and but like the the way that like it's implied that there's like um but like there's a history of like conflict and tension between witches and kanais and in ways that are like that the writing seems to like directly being making comparisons to like racism um and,
Okay.
and like and it's like you're like Maddie's mom says things like you're a stubborn kanai always sticking your nose where you don't belong, and she seems like violently opposed to her daughter a witch dating a kanai. So it like evokes some real world things like the way they talk about it, you know. um
Hmm.
so is this another example of that, like calling him street smart? Like uh, it like is that you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow
So,
it. That does put this in a different light, and that is just that seems odd as
yeah,
a
I don't.
world building choice.
Yeah, but like that's not really connected to him being a kanai, like him having bad grades, and but then calling him street smart. Like they don't bring the kanai thing into that. So it's like, what was the intent with that? I'm not like about to throw around any accusations, but like that just seems odd, you know. But
Right.
um, anyway, just, yeah, very weird. But uh, let's see. We've now been recording for 2 hours. Isn't that fun? So, not the longest I've ever gone recording an episode, by the way. Um,
Oh, okay.
so there's like this show has so much to talk about in it. You wouldn't like. Did you anticipate going into this that we'd be on for like this long talking about like different things?
I didn't know.
So so um sorry, I know you have like things to get to. Well, but we're in the home stretch. Don't worry.
Yes, yeah.
Um um I think we'll make good enough time. So so yeah, that so so, but but um uh, Jax dares Emma to look at Maddie's file. Like, uh, no, I'm not going to do that. I dare you. No, but if I dare you, you have to do it. That's like a rule. Uh, uh only if you're like 12 years old. Like,
Right. Like, in the context of game logic, sure, but you can't just dare somebody otherwise.
the you can't just like throw a dare on someone like who's not initiated into that way of thinking, uh,
Right.
uh, or like willing to be dared to, you know. But and she's like, and he's and she's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Well, haven't you played Truth or Dare? No. Well, would you ever play Magic Truth or Dare? Ooh.
I make a
And
note of this
then we cut
later
to
on, but again, it's like world building of
yeah.
magic version of this.
Oh yes. That yeah, that they bring that up more definitely. But so then we cut to Ramona. What how confused were you with dropping in on this randomly?
I was so confused. My notes say, "Who is this in the clouds?" Multiple question marks. With a spork and pasta? Multiple question marks. What is with this limbo?
And her hands are stuck in venom goo.
Yes.
Um yeah, so she's a member of the Witches Council who got trapped here, who got like sent here somehow. Um and has now been trapped here by evil Desdemona, fellow member of the Witches Council.
Okay.
She's like keeping this her fellow member of the Witches Council, Ramona, out of the way in this limbo, what I referred to before in one of my episodes as a purgatory prison,
hmm
ethereal cloud room. And she's like, well, they gave me one of my prison meals. I got spaghetti with a spork. I'm gonna use the spork with my mouth to pry the goo away. My hands out of the goo. Aha! I'm free now. Yes. Thank you for the random spork. Who? What? Okay, this was a writing choice.
Yes.
Someone had the idea for this scene. It'll be funny if she uses a spork to escape from the goo prison.
I mean, children love
Uh,
sporks. I think that's like hitting the target audience.
yeah, sporks are fun, and like I said, there was the joke about the spork earlier.
Right.
Um, so 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 I think spork is just an inherently kind of funny word, you know. That
Yeah.
um that it, and they are fun just to yeah when you get a spork, yeah. Um and so she's like, yeah, I'm free. I'm gonna get out of here. Runs away off screen. Then she comes back in the other side of the room. Oh man, it's like an infinite thing where I just get trapped. If I go in this way, I'll come back in this way, sort of thing. Oh
Yeah.
man, it, um, Limbo's the worst place I've ever been, and then sitting down, and then drops her head into the plate of spaghetti.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha
Classic
ha
physical
ha.
comedy bit.
Yeah. Uh, um. But then Gigi reports to Desdemona that Emma's with Jax, not Daniel. Oh
Oh
dear.
no.
Uh, and Daniel's not there. He's at home with Maddie. Double whammy.
Who could have
Uh,
seen this?
and yeah, is it who? Yeah, what kind of negligence could have caused this? Um, uh, um, and and she's like, should have really checked this earlier. And but Gigi's like, ooh, Daniel and Maddie rekindling their romance. I'm gonna blog about this. And then Desdemona's like, no, you're not. And then what I initially thought that she like broke Gigi's hand, and it was like
This was
in a cast
also
somehow.
my thought, yes.
It's like is but I don't think it is. I think she just taped her fingers together. Yeah, that's not easily solvable. I don't know. Is it? Did she actually break Gigi's hand, Matt? Like with a spell?
I thought it was like she damaged Gigi's hand, and I see your note of that it was probably tape, and that makes way more sense in terms of like Gigi's reaction to it. But that seemed incredibly, yeah, damaging her hand seemed incredibly dark for a children's show.
Yeah, like yeah. So let's hope that it's not actual damage. That it's just tape or whatever. So, if it is just tape, she Desdemona thinks she won't just use her other hand to take the tape off. What? Or whatever. I'm done trying to make sense of this. For one day anyway.
Right.
We're getting near the end though, and so Andy tries to tempt Diego. We cut to the 7. Andy tries to tempt Diego into a food fight. Like, hey, why don't we start a food fight? And he's like, nah, I told my folks that I'd actually be responsible. No food fights. And then he starts folding the pizza boxes, and it reminded me of Parasite.
I had the same thought. Yes.
Yes, does it get the scene like whoop, folding the pizza boxes?
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure everyone working on Every Which Way thought like this scene would a decade later evoke the first foreign language Best Picture winner at the Oscars.
I mean,
from with
Bong
a film
Joon-ho
from
was
Korea.
inspired by this moment.
Yes, that's what I always say. Let me see. One of my friends, his name is Steven. I was talking about we were talking about the joke that Maddie calls Diego's ears big, and well, it's prompted by Daniel saying like, "Oh, I'm all ears" to what Maddie has to say, and then Maddie says, "Ooh, you realize it too? I didn't want to say it, but your ears are huge," and and my friend Steven said like, "Oh, David Cronenberg was inspired by the all ears line to put an all ears man in his film Crimes of the Future." He saw this moment in Every Which Way, and that's what inspired that choice in his later film Crimes of the Future. He was like, I'm gonna incorporate an all ears man because of the all ears joke in this. Yeah.
Yes, the Every Which Way cinematic universe.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, honestly.
Yeah. We also actually see the pizza in this scene, and it does not look good. I'm not sure why everybody is obsessed with this pizza.
Yeah. Andy picks out a slice. It has like one pepperoni on it. I was like,
yes,
they're really skimping on the pepperoni. But she takes the pepperoni off she throws it at Diego, hits him, it lands on his cheek. Real funny. And
Yeah.
uh, they eventually, and when we cut back to them later, they've gotten into a food fight, and they've set up the pizza boxes as the barricades.
Yes, getting the pizza forts.
For pizza forts, as Andy and Sophie said. So we cut back to Emma and Jax playing Magic Truth or Dare. And Truth or Dare, Emma? Truth. Aw, why are you always picking truth? Okay, fine, Dare. And all right. And for Jax, the dare that he gives her is pretty mild. I dare you to imitate Maddie. What? No. It's like, all right, fine. Panthers, get me a smoothie. Stat. Is it? And he's like, no. Why don't you do a magic imitation? What's a magic imitation? So then he does like a magic thing, puts his finger up to his throat, and then does a perfect, like, as in the actor who does Emma's dad, his voice comes out of Jax's mouth. And it's like, I'm imitating your dad, haha. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do you one better. She shapeshifts into Maddie, as in Maddie's actress is there now, and is like, Panthers, you better get me a smoothie. Brush my teeth. Grab my bags. Stat. And Emma's
good
getting
use
really
of magic,
into it.
I think.
Yeah, pretty fun. But I legitimately think that this is the first time we've ever seen Emma like straight up shapeshift into another person.
Okay.
Which is it's odd that she'd like pull it out for just this fun moment here. It seems like there are plenty of moments in this show where you could have used that earlier, you know.
Right.
Anyway, she just pulls it out here for a little funny, but yeah. and all right, Jax, your turn to tell the truth. Tell me about your family. Are you really going to use your one truth to make me talk about my family? Yeah. So
the only way to unlock your tragic backstory.
Yeah, is through truth and truth or dare. Exactly. And he talks about he has a dad, he has an uncle Leon, he has an auntie Becky, and a cousin Bill. It's like, oh, yeah, those are all your relatives, I guess. What about your mother? Oh, my mother was great. Her name was Leanna. Then he's about to say what happened to her, but this whole time he's like bouncing a tennis ball back and forth on the wall, and then it makes a hole in the wall, and then they go to check it out, and they're like, oh, there's weird magic documents here. What? So there's a bunch of stuff left behind by the evil old principal who tried to take Emma's powers. Did you pick up on that when you were like reading about the context?
I did not see that. I was very confused. She says something of like, "Oh yeah, there was a medieval themed lounge, and my dad put up a fake wall to block it." And I was like, "What? Why would that exist in a principal's office? Weird. Why is we just throwing that in there?"
Oh, because the villain of the last season was the school's previous principal who was trying to take the Chosen One's powers, and at the end of the last season she got vanquished, and then Emma's dad took over the principal role.
Got it.
And this was behind there was the evil principal's evil magic lair, but Emma's dad assumed it was a medieval themed lounge, and then got rid of it, and I was like, "Oh, that's proof right there that he's like way too stuffy." Like,
yes,
you see an awesome extra themed room behind your office, and you're just like, get rid of it. Okay, yeah, that's revealing of his character.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, sorry, we'll try and pick up the pace here.
No, it's
Um,
good.
so 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 then they see um there's a there's a guide that the battle plan that the evil principal had of like how to take Emma's powers using using Diego and Emma and Maddie involved, and like the way that they were going to be lined up, and he's like, oh, that this is me, that's Diego, that's me, and Jack says, wait, this little drawing here is you. You look a lot prettier in person.
Dun
Hmm.
dun.
Ah. Wow, so nice. Sarcasm is obvious. Um, the, um, the, but then they're like, see another document, and they're like very particular about it. Wait, I think that this is a guide to using the last light of the full moon to destroy the magic realm.
Right.
How'd you pick up on that so quick? Like, oh, you always like you. I mean, they I guess they know a document about using the last light of the full moon to destroy the magic realm when they see one.
It just has it
Because
written right in the corner, right? Like, this is a document for using the last light of the full moon to destroy the realm. Dated
yes, of
this
course,
day.
yeah. Mm-hmm. That then we cut to I want one of these things. The put a Velcro wall. They put on Velcro suits and then jump on a trampoline and then stick to the wall. Uh, I desperately want to do this game. Um,
This seems like a good fit
uh,
for this
um,
family and these terrible three children.
absolutely. Um, yeah, that, um, yeah, that, oh, you know, you should, next time you do one of your marathons, you should, dress up in a Velcro suit for the whole marathon. And then right after you cross the finish line, you jump on the trampoline and then hit the wall and stick to it. And that's the big finish.
Yeah, I could see races implementing that.
Yeah, that would be genuinely that would add some liveliness to the end of it. Yeah,
Because that's what you really need at the end of the marathon is more liveliness.
yeah, uh, and you're just like out of breath. I'm stuck to a wall.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. No downside to that whatsoever. Um,
No.
and so they're like, what? All right, let's do this jumping game where you jump in the wall they both get like, ooh, get in the suits, jump up, get stuck, and then Maddie's like, how do I get down? I don't know, says Daniel. But then they just laugh about it, and Maddie and Daniel says, "Wow, you're a lot less uptight than you were than we dated." And Maddie's like, "Whoa, ah, uh, I'm offended by that." And well, you're you've mellowed out because you're dating Diego, right? You thought you about you uh, we're not we're not dating that way. Well, you care about him and he cares about you, don't you? And you like being together, right? Well, that's what being in a relationship is. No, it's not. Uh, well, what do you think of being in a relationship means? Well, it means when you fight all the time. That's what hundreds of romantic comedy movies have taught me.
I was trying to
Um,
think like what romantic comedies is she watching? Like The Proposal?
exactly. Yeah, like I I know that that is some romantic comedies, but like not like the bulk of them. Uh,
Right.
so that,
And not usually
like
after the couple
they don't
gets
usually have the
together.
moral. Yeah, unless it. I mean, and usually, I mean, they do show those kinds of relationships where people fight, but they usually show that as like the bad side that they're trying to get out of, and then they find the good side of the equation at the end. You know, or yeah. I think Maddie's just getting the entirely wrong idea from things. Who would have thought? Um, who would expect that of her? Um, And but then Daniel's like, yeah, I think that tracks for the way you treated me during our relationship. Yeah,
Oh,
well, whatever. I'm better now. Um, as a, um, well, well, Emma, well, did you break up with Emma because she's a witch? Well, not exactly. I mean, she wasn't being honest with me. Well, do you think she might not have been honest because of you like trying to like force her into a box, or like showing that you would accept her less if she did have magic powers? Maybe. So ah, well then you did dump her because she's you didn't respect Emma for who she is, and as a fellow witch, I'm offended on Emma's behalf.
I
I
loved
I
that
love
line.
this. Uh, like wow, what a great realization for Maddie to come to. Uh, and then she's like, did I just feel bad for Emma? Huh, who would have thought it of me? Am I defending Emma? Um, oh, that I'm Diego must be doing a number on me. I've really changed, haven't I? How do we get down? That's when that comes in. Yeah.
Yes.
Um. So, but then Jax tells Emma how fun his mom was. Yeah, she used to pretend to be a beaver. And 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 that and then that we get a very Twilight-esque line from Emma. You have your great moments. I've seen them.
Yes.
You're how on the nose can you get?
I mean, they really just need to make sure yeah, that the love triangle is here and really formed.
Yeah, yeah, he might do bad things, but he's deep down really good inside, and I see that in you. You cuz you love your deceased mom, that means you must be a really good person, I guess. If that's the bar, sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think throughout these two episodes if he's
Yeah,
done anything else to give himself a good person. I guess he helped locate her as a bird, but that's about it.
yeah, sure. Yeah. Uh, yeah, well, only
Under
because he was
duress.
forced to. He was tied
Yeah.
up. Yeah. So even that you take points. You have to dock points. Um. So yeah. Um. But Desdemona is watching this like, oh, Jax and Emma getting together. I can't have this. I need to summon more wind. She's not thinking this through. All of this. She didn't. She didn't. She didn't think for a second about how literally this whole storm up to this point has been the cause of them getting close, like
Right.
having these close, intimate moments. So it's like, oh yeah, if I just throw in more wind, then that'll somehow reverse that. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Um. And but then they get a chess set, and Jack is like, "You want to play chess?" Oh, uh, maybe. I mean, I'm not really good at chess without my powers. I haven't played too much. Wait, how do you play chess with magic? Oh, it involves real knights and real horses. And yeah, the, uh, but this show doesn't have the budget to show that.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, because we do see them playing chess and it doesn't involve real knights and horses. But again, I was like, magic chess is a
yeah,
staple in a world building of a magic realm.
yeah, exactly. Including in one particular wizarding franchise that I won't mention because of the author being a horrible person.
Yes.
Um, uh, who's who's made it her life's goal to ruin the lives of people like me specifically. So anyway, um, so, so yeah, she, the one who shall not be named. So yeah, um, so So we cut back to Andy and Diego getting in a food fight. We just cut to that for a brief bit. That's when they have the barricades and the pizza and whatnot, throwing food back and forth. And but Emma has gotten super good at chess. Like, bishop takes queen. Ha! Yes. But, oh yeah. And like, she knocked more pieces than just the queen like out of the way. And I was like, you're really screwing up the board there, Emma.
I mean, you don't know the rules of Magic Chess. Maybe you just get all of these pieces when you get the queen.
Yeah, sure. And and uh and Jack is like, "Ooh, I haven't seen you fired up so much." And I was like, "Yeah, it must be Andy's influence getting me real competitive. She's competitive at everything, like video games, swimming, soccer, the speed of walking. She'll like she's always in a competitive mood." And 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 then and Jack is like, "It reminds me of you know what? Never mind. What? Reminds you of what? It reminds me of the evil clone of you." How? That's another thing that they just threw at you, didn't they?
Yes, there's mention of her clones,
Um,
and then Jack's Jr., and then there are lots of clones happening. Uh this was a total surprise.
yeah, it was the plot of a couple episodes going back a bit because there was a episode called the Emma Squad. Um, anyway, um, where like four different Emmas showed up, including an evil one, a hippie one, a slob one, and a nerdy one. Um,
Yes.
and so yeah, um, but he was like, yeah, I really enjoyed the evil version of Emma. Why don't you could act more like her? What you or and also like you should bring her back maybe because I like that evil version of Emma. But that's concerning in more ways that I don't feel like we have time to get into.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
fair.
but right them talking about this actually tips Desdemona off. She hadn't known about this before. Like, wait, Emma and Jax made clones, and
Yes.
this, of course, like in itself is entirely and magically illegal. She's like, I've got all I've got all the weapon against them that I need to like send them away and like get their powers taken.
Right. Who cares
Um,
about relationship drama? This is
which
actual problem.
yeah, and and so yeah, um I'm gonna use this info about the clones to get Emma's powers taken away. Yes, but and then, and sitting next to her, Gigi is falling asleep. This might be the weirdest. Like we've talked about a lot of weird things in this episode. This might take the cake, honestly, because Gigi is asleep next to Desdemona, and she's having a dream and like talking out loud while she's dreaming, and she's like, "Wait, stop, Jax. That tickles." Ah, what is that?
Yes, I flagged that as well. Also because I had no indication of like Gigi and Jax have not interacted on screen for me either, so I had no idea if this was like
No,
a running thing or just trying to be a joke.
I mean like even I can think like they've had like light interactions a few times, and like she's been attracted to him, so she's like flirted with him for briefly a few times, but like but so she's like having dreams about him, and like it's like what? So like not just having dreams about him, but like what? It's like said in such a vague way. Like, what is this supposed to mean? Like
Right.
that, Jax, that tickles, ha! Like you that could be taken in some weird directions. Is all I'll say. Um,
Yes, yeah.
so, so, but what a weird thing to just throw in there. There's like that's like never elaborated on. That's just a brief moment. That's like, well, that happened.
Right. Yeah, she didn't need to
So,
say anything.
I'm, I'm scared. Or or uh, like if it was like I know she has a crush on Jax. If she was like, Jax, oh yeah, come closer, yeah, that would
Right.
have been less weird. But but we're like, what is that? What is that meant to imply? Stop, Jax, that tickles.
I don't know.
Uh, so, uh, yeah, I'm like that bit like drained me of a whole bunch of energy, but we're glad we're close to the end anyway. We're now at the 2.5 hour mark of recording. Um, so yeah, Ramona teleports out of limbo. She finally is like, "This is escape attempt number 1,350 something," and it's like, and she finally like manages to get out of there like somehow.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
it
know
worked.
why that
I'm out
worked,
of
but
there. Oh, I'm in the street now. Whoa. Huh. So I almost got hit by a car. That was weird. Um, I'm free now. But where am I? Where am I? She stops the person like, "Excuse me, where am I?" And then he says, "Los Angeles." And then like and then just keeps going. And and then she says to herself, "Wow, Limbo is in Los Angeles. Who knew?"
yes.
So she got sent entirely across the country. Um, but at least she's out now, not in the purgatory prison anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm curious
and
how she's gonna get back to or get to Miami. I assume she's gonna end up in some storyline down the line.
yeah, and what she's going to be able to do, because clearly she's not going to be able to like easily put up a fight against the evil Desdemona in her
Right.
state. I don't know, but yeah. Um so then Daniel and Maddie, as the storm's coming to a close, they're like, maybe we should come clean to each other's significant others. Like, oh, that I should apologize to Emma and tell her like what my true feelings are and like clear the air there. And and Maddie's like, yeah, I should tell Diego how much I care about him and like really make this a proper relationship. I'm glad we had this talk. We had this close talk when we were forced to be together during a storm, and yeah, glad we're just good friends now. Even yeah, even though we just acted super like romantically, like ooh, to
Yeah.
start things off. That was weird. But yeah,
I love
um,
when exes have
uh,
a good
um,
conversation and learn things about
and
each other.
exactly. Yeah, I do think positively about this like storyline with them too overall, and 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 uh and she's like, well, Maddie's like, well, if I bring Diego into the fold properly, like have a relationship with him, I know Katie's getting really jealous of me being with him, and like it's taking attention away from her, and also it would be really weird in the dynamic having a fourth Panther after all these years. Like she just instantly assumes that she would like have him be part of the clique, like
Right.
that's his role, and and uh and then and then and then Daniel's like, wait, Diego's not a panther, he's a shark. Whatever. That was such a weird way of phrasing like being defensive. Like he's not a panther, he's a shark. He says that so flatly and definitively, just as like he cares way too much about the yeah the
Yeah, the makeup of this
naming
swim
and all
team.
that. It might I think he treats it as like a threat to his masculinity too. Um,
Right.
so yeah. Um, but then they're like, yeah, well, yeah, Katie can be so jealous, and then they're like, say to each other, well, friends can be so exhausting. Am I right? Uh, well, well, maybe you should like it to make things better with Diego, you should throw him a surprise party. Yeah, I'll throw him a surprise party. That's a great idea that I came up with all on my own just now. Uh, she said it in a pretty funny, like, self-aware way, just like with the Hexosaurus moment earlier. She's having more, like, she's taking a few jabs at herself with it, which I like.
Yeah, I like it.
And like a funny way. And then she leaves, and then Daniel like goes over. He sees his phone on the floor. He sees all the texts that he missed. Oh God!
He's gotta make his way to the school.
Uh, gotta run to the school, which is only 2 blocks away, as we know.
Yes.
And so Francisco, Emma's dad, comes to the school. Is like, well, glad you guys are okay. Thank you, Jax, for keeping Emma safe and for keeping her company. What did you do? Set up a fort in here, playing chess and doing all this weird stuff? Well, whatever. Well, I'll drive you home, Jax, because I appreciate you so much. And then he leaves, and Emma and Jax hug, like, because they made it through this whole experience, the storm. And then Daniel sees it. He rushes in, and he sees them hugging, and and he starts seething. Oh
yeah. Oh no.
Oh no. His jealousy flares up.
Yeah.
Then we cut to the final scene of the episode, where Desdemona reveals to Agamemnon and to Lily that she now knows about Emma and Jax creating clones, and that Lily actually knew and just tried to comfort Emma over it. That, like, here you are comforting her. She says it like that. And rather than like upholding the magical law. Why are you being so like accommodating and like tolerant of all this, tomfoolery that's dangerous, And so they call both Emma and Jax to the nurse's office, and they're like, yes, we've learned that you two have been multiplying. Not they say that in the most suspicious way possible.
Yes.
You two have been multiplying.
The innuendo is
and then Jack says, I don't know that they should not have said that. That should not be in this show. I don't care. It like you two have been multiplying. Yeah, since the 3rd grade. That makes it worse.
Right.
What? Yeah. But then they're like, yeah, I've been multiplying for many years. My dad's a math teacher.
Right. They try to pull away from it.
The chosen one made a joke. Yeah. So, but come on. We know what you were intending with that. Come on now. And that was worded so wrong. But yeah, Agamemnon says, like, Emma, for the crime of creating clones, you must realize the severity of your actions, and you must face the punishment. You must face the total removal of your powers. Bum bum bum. That's a proper cliffhanger right there.
Yeah, I was definitely excited to watch the next episode after that.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I want to say I always think I can make these episodes somewhat short. It never happens. But I'm grateful to you for being on all this way. Any final thoughts that you have? Anything you want to say as we sort of wrap up, Emily?
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm curious to see where it goes from here. Like, I'm invested. And I think my overall feeling was that everybody is like doing a pretty solid job here, acting wise, and like making the most of what it seems can be a really convoluted plot at times. But it is, the right amount of Nickelodeon convoluted.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Doing it in like a telenovela format, and with all the common tropes and archetypes that you'd expect, but like it it well clearly hit the right point for my demographic at the time. It stuck in my mind, and I felt the need to keep up with it. It every episode like builds on the next, and you got to keep going with it. That's the telenovela way. But yeah,
Right.
I want to thank you so much, Emily, for being on. It was great to be with you, and I know it was a really fun circumstance to be able to reconnect after quite a while.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely. It's been great to see
um,
you and to talk about
I,
this.
absolutely, we should totally chat again soon uh, about something else, definitely.
Yes,
Um,
sounds good.
yeah, you doing doing great stuff, and yeah, thank you so much, Emily, for being on, and for everyone listening, subscribe on YouTube and follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Share it around to people that you know, fellow fans of the show, or anyone you think might be interested. Stay safe, everyone. Have an excellent week, and finally, best
Best
magical
magical
wishes.
wishes.